So it looks like we're live, Savannah.
Yes, we are.
Welcome everyone to our live session from the Netherlands, Women in Tech Netherlands chapter. I am Gabby. I am part of the tribe from the Netherlands, and I'm talking to you together with Savannah.
Hi everyone.
I work in tech, and Savannah, can you give a little bit of an introduction on what you do on a daily basis?
Yes, I'm currently a communications program manager at Unit 4. That's a technology company that develops software for enterprises. And next to that, I am a community lead for the Utrecht region. And I'm enjoying that a lot. Gabby, maybe you can share a bit more about yourself.
Sure. I'm head of product for Roadmap, a small tech startup, enjoying that a lot, and community leader like you, Savannah. And really, really happy to have a lot of people joining. I already see some live comments, so that's good. Hello from the United States. Hello from the Netherlands.
Awesome.
For everybody who's watching us, the link that you see below, you can click that link and you're able to ask questions through that link. But you can also do it through the YouTube channel. And Savannah is also reading along in the YouTube channel, so she is able to answer your questions there. So for everybody on LinkedIn, please go to the link that we describe in the bottom of the screen if you have any questions. Now, let's get started. I want to introduce you to Kara. She is the president of Women in Tech Netherlands, and she's going to give you a small presentation on what we do. Hi, Kara. Good that you're joining us.
So thank you and welcome everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you so much. So what I will do is briefly switch over to some slides, and Savannah and Gabby, I'll take you out of the screen for just a minute and share a few slides with you, and then I'll turn it back over to the two of you. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Let me get my slides going. Okay, so hopefully you all can see the slides that I'm sharing with you now. And I'd like to welcome you to this topic today on Women in Tech Insights and remote working. Hopefully you had a chance to see the session just prior to this one, which were our friends and colleagues in Macedonia and around the world talking to you from GitLab and TRM and Facebook. And now I'd like to share also with you a very brief introduction to Women in Tech and to take you through a very brief bridge into our conversation for tonight. So who are we as a movement? In case you haven't heard, Women in Tech in the Netherlands started a year ago, and we launched at Elsevier headquarters in Amsterdam. And we are here on a mission. We are here to close the gap for women in technology in the Netherlands. And we're doing that by focusing on 5 key areas of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we're looking after goal number 5, of course, which is women at the center, gender equality. We're looking at education and offering scholarships through associations with universities in the Netherlands. We're looking at entrepreneurial programs like learning how to pitch your voice and to get your ideas on the table, whether that's in front of an audience within your corporation or in front of venture capitalists. We're looking at social inclusion, so making sure that we're having this conversation across all of the Netherlands and beyond when it comes to technology. And science and innovation, and working with a lot of our partner organizations like Women in AI, Women in Blockchain, in order to continue to promote the deeper technology that we all so much love. And as a girl who fell in love with technology so long ago, I can tell you that that's one of the streams that I'm very excited about. So today we have nearly 2,000 members here in the Netherlands, and we continue to grow. And I'm very proud of that. I've just walked you through a few of these examples in terms of the purpose that we are leading by, driven by actions. And I'd love to encourage and invite all of you to sign up to be a member with us. That's free, so there's no charge to join our mission. But what you get are a community of like-minded women and allies who are really excited to help us close the gap in technology. And we offer you a role model program, the pitch program, opportunities to get advanced degrees like your master's degree in data science and data analytics with associated universities, and some of the other programs that I've just shared with you. So really very proud of how far we've come, in fact, in this last year, and the importance of this movement, which is perhaps never been as important as today. I'd like to briefly introduce you to the team. Now, I'm not going to go through each and every person here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to encourage you to join us on Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn, because we're currently running a profile campaign where we're introducing every single person that you see here, one by one, and sharing the incredible work that these women are all doing in their daily lives at work and in the communities and organizations where they take part. And today, really featuring Gabby and Savannah, who are two of our community leaders for women in tech here in the Netherlands. And very, very proud of the events like this today and what we can bring to you in terms of content. So last but not least, a very short introduction on my side, but I wanted to make a quick bridge into the conversation tonight. And having come out of the previous webinar that was also a beautiful panel discussion with some partnering companies like GitHub and Facebook, we had a conversation there that I was reflecting on as well in terms of, what are some of the other things that I'm seeing coming up in this conversation about remote working? And what I think is so important is actually that we all consider literally how we show up. And there are a few conversations that I've been seeing on social media and in the circles where I'm engaging that I'd just like to leave you with, to think about how you're showing up in this era of remote working right now. And the three topics are around professionalism, authenticity, and inspiration. And when it comes to professionalism, well, for the women that are in the audience today and for the men, there are preferences that we're hearing coming up when it comes to remote working and all of this Zoom calling and streaming and being on video and engaging with your colleagues. And actually, the data is showing us that if you have a choice of being strictly professional or business casual or being very casual, that the tendency tends to go for be business casual. And of course, it depends very much on the environment that you're working in. There could be all sorts of great reasons that you might be in an interview and you want to wear that really great jacket with your suits, or that you are okay to be in a t-shirt on that call that day. But generally speaking, the consensus tells us, look business smart, business casual. The other thing is being more effective on the screen, and this could be personal preference as well, but being effective on the screen, they say, is towards wearing solid colors. So lots of patterns sometimes don't work well in the video. And so something to consider in terms of how you're showing up professionally and your own appearance on the screen, and spending a little bit of time to think about that. So just because we've shifted our environments to being a home environment doesn't necessarily mean that we should appear all that differently than we might if we go into the office. So consider how you would appear in the office and think about what that might mean for you behind the camera. The other was authenticity. And I pasted in this beautiful backdrop of the palm trees because, well, so many of us have these sort of artificial backgrounds. Now you have a picture of me today in my home office, and that's who I am, and that's where I work, and it says maybe a little bit about me as a person. But there's some debate right now about these artificial backgrounds, and the question is, what are you hiding? Is it actually a space where you want to let others see into your home? A big debate about privacy, and are we showing too much of ourselves by letting people into our homes? Or actually, is that okay? And is it really a part of who we are? And so something to consider in terms of how you show up authentically. There is a preference that we let each other see each other as we are. And last but not least, and my final bridge into the rest of tonight's conversation is really about where do we get our inspiration from? And so for all of those of you with kids at home and thinking about how we're getting inspired to do our remote working, Well, I couldn't think of two more brilliant speakers that we have with us here today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn back to Gabi and Savannah to introduce our first speaker to you. And I hope you will be inspired by what you hear in making those human connections and keeping things real, and also really learning from all generations about the opportunities to stay connected in a remote environment. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we'll do a short changeover here. And I will bring Gabi and Savannah back into the screen.
Thank you, Kara. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Kara. It's always a pleasure listening to you. I hope you inspire many to join us in our community and join us on our social channels as well. If you follow us on LinkedIn, you'll be up to date on all our events that are coming up. So go there and follow us. Right now, I would like to introduce another superwoman that excites me ever since I watched her TED Talk. That's Gabriella Roa. Hey there. She works as an agile, lean and innovation coach at PVH Tech Europe. And she's an expert on topic related to the creative mindset. And she believes that the meaning of life is continuous learning. Tonight, she will share all sorts of insights on how your kids can inspire you while working remotely. And with that, I ask you to give her your full attention, Gabriella.
Thank you. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for such a great invitation. I'm very happy to be here with you. And today I'm going to share some personal stories about how a child mess could help you to discover your creativity. So I'm going to start first with my own story. And then later on, I'm going to move how I apply this into my daily day job. So I'm going to start first. So I come from a family of a high achiever. So this is my mom in her proudest moment in life when my brother was graduating. So she's into academic. She was a single mom for 4 kids, and her lifestyle was really into perfection, very structured. And I can imagine that a lot of us who are having careers can recognize on that because we need that structure in life. And then I follow her and I admire her with all my life. And she is still my role model, but I have to find my own voice. And how I find my own voice. So when I became a mom, I have to really face my own monsters. And my monster was that I always want to be perfect. So I became I worked for a lot of years as an IT project manager, more specifically in RP systems. And I also I study music. So all these both environments requires being precise and very structured. And my motherhood brought me back into a moment and a question mark, who I was as a parent, who I was as a woman. I couldn't keep up with the control, and I always wanted to have. I couldn't be like my mom. So I have to find my own voice, and that was a very painful journey. So what I did first, the first decision I had is that I shouldn't give the back to my child, and I really needed to embrace this chaos and this new life of being a parent. So I started exploring and accepting. So I started to connect, deep dive into who I was a little child in order to empathize with my kids. And also, I didn't want to have my child to be lost and don't find his own individuality, his own identity. So how should I do that? So then one day, inspired on the beautiful lights of Amsterdam, as you can see right now on the screen, if you can really see me, I started to take pictures of children's messes. So I wanted to really see deep inside what they're doing, why they have to use the whole space, why they have to use all that many Legos. So for me, on the glance, when I see this picture, it was like chaos. But then when I look really in detail, I saw, no, they are building. they are building stories. So the child with the dinosaurs pajamas, that's my child. And the other one is Jonas. It's a very good friend of my son. So they were building things. They were using the old materials. They wanted to be has this space to explore, to innovate. So, and I wasn't able to see that because the only thing that I was seeing is just, oh my God, what am I going to do with all these Legos? How am I going to save that? How am I going to put them back together? So, but then I changed my approach. And my approach is that I want to see what you're doing. I want to empathize. I want to check what you're building. And based on that, I start look closer and closer. And then I started to take pictures of children's messes in order to find metaphors about life that will help me to connect with my child and ultimately to connect with my own inner mess. And what I found out is that what I needed to do first is just to accept that I'm not a robot, that I'm just a human with feelings, with imperfections, that I should embrace what it is and find the balance. That life is not like dark or light. It's just, it has its shadows, and you just navigate, like in this picture, you navigate through it, trying to do the best you can. And then I started this photography journey of also taking pictures of children mess, trying to connect dots, trying to find patterns in chaos in order to understand what is this mindset that kids have, that they have to utilize space as they do it, especially when they are two. When in the Netherlands, they say, like when they're two, they say no very often. But what is that? Why they are so powerful? Why they have to break? Why they have to explore? I wanted to understand that. So I researched for 4 years all the topics of children's creativity, and it really gave me a lot of insights. So also is the journey of expectation. And I was listening before how you present yourself professionally. To be honest, during the COVID-19, in the left side of the picture, what you see, that's how I always wanted to have my picture looks like. And if my colleagues from PBH are watching right now, that's the picture that actually I shared to you. But the reality was that when I was homeschooling, I was working, and I was doing everything at home, I have to accept that I couldn't control everything. So my desk looks more like the right one. But of course, thanks to the camera, I could hide a lot of this mess. But that's more or less my reality. And that dinosaur that you say there, this little Stegosaurus, that was like become my best COVID-19 quarantine best friend. It was always there next to me because my child was next to me doing homework. So it's also the journey of managing expectation and see, just do what works better for you and your children. It's a journey of love. It's a journey of like with the purpose of connecting in order to find what it works right for you. I cannot say, sometimes people ask me, oh, could you please give me tips? Could you please do this for me? Could you please make, and I say, I cannot, because so my project is called My Happy Explorer. So you need to explore happily what it works for you and your children, especially when you are home, and accept that and embrace it. And also, like, if you can't control everything, just let go. Because, you know, it is about sometimes embracing the metaphors that this life of parenting with kids is all about. So in this journey, I'm going to share some experience on the sad and the beautiful, and also I would say the funny ones. And this is one of the funny ones. So I love coffees. I love coffee a lot. So everyone who knows me, my colleagues, they all know that I love coffee. So one morning, especially on Monday morning, in my case, I love to drink my coffee. It's a sacred moment. So when my child was like, he's right now 8, and my child was already, I found this in my coffee. Imagine, I have to go to the office, I have to run, I have to bring kids to school, and I found this. I couldn't drink my coffee. So I have 2 options: getting upset, or if you were me, take a picture and find the humor about it. So I asked my child, what is this? What happens? And then he says to me, Mom, the crab just pooped in multiple colors in your coffee. As you can imagine, in that Monday, it was a crap Monday for me. Believe me. So it's just love. So in this type of storytelling with photography also helped me as a tool to express also things that really concerns me as a parent and as a woman in this society who wish that things are better. So originally, I'm from Venezuela. And according to the UN Refugee Agency, there are 79.5 million of people who has forcibly displaced their countries, where 40% are children. In my country, it has been like, according to the United Nations, approximately 5 million of Venezuelans who has been forcibly displaced from the country. And among those, is the beautiful picture of my mom and my brother who I showed in the beginning. They have to live for survival. But this part of this big drama going on, as a parent, I have to show and tell my son another narrative that sometimes is sad and it's heartbreaking. But there is also trust that there are people like you guys who are watching, who are trying to build a better place for us to coexist as a humanity. And then you can do it by technology or just by being kind with your neighbor. And I have that hope. It's the journey of showing that despite of these things going on, this complexity, this chaos going on, this mess going on in the world, there is always a North Star, and we can always do something. We can create that ripple effect that can help inspire others to construct something new. It's also the journey to understand that, like when you have children at home, and I know that a lot of people who were having kids at home with homeschooling and lockdown must have been very hard. But that time of being a parent and have your children at home is just a short time. So when they turn 18, they're going to go away. And it's like flowers. Just they face away. They're beautiful, but they face away. And I remember my mother, who says, like, if I would have known, I wouldn't have. She says to me after she watched my TED Talk, she says something beautiful to me. She said, "Oh, now that I watched your TED Talk, I really understand that I could have been a little bit more relaxed about it." And then she says to me, "And you know what? To be honest, when the last time we saw each other before all this mess happened, and you slept in your room, and you left to the Netherlands," she says to me, "I didn't clean up your mess in your room, because that mess made me feel that you still were there, that you're still there with me." And then made me realize that being this experience of having your kids at home is it's beautiful, but it can fade away. And then what I'm asking you as a parent, I know that has been hard during the COVID-19 for all of us, but among all this mess, there is something beautiful about it, and just trying to connect with that. So this idea brought me into the tactile. So I want this is a competition for Tommy Hilfiger Tactile Global. So, and then since then my life has changed, because when I stood up from that stage, people asked me, okay, how can we implement this mindset of learning, of looking the possibilities in chaos in our teams? And that really made me think. So then I started to recreate what I did. So because one of the things I found out that I was doing successfully is that the reason that my son was constructing, building, jumping, is because as a parent, I was successfully creating a safety net in my home. I was being that parent, was allowing my child to be like himself, to be who he really was. So then, since then, I started to do gamifications and create workshops with games, utilizing children's toys, utilizing metaphors that can help teams to really come back into their continuous learning mindset and growth mindset, and allows them to explore creative solutions to what is the problem. These pictures in Roadmap, what Gabi so which I was honored to be there and to give a talk. And the next picture is our hero PVH. These are my SAP ERP teams, my favorite teams. So, and then you will see like, wow, ERP people maybe are not creative. Yes, they are. And then the thing is that we need to create as an organization that safety net that allows people to come back into the table, look into the problems, and not look into hierarchical. Really look into solutions that matters to us, and that is we that's how we can take this inspiration on our children's messes. And here, normally on these workshops, I do picnics. So like I do at home, and sometimes I do a little character of myself, and I go in like sort of like in pajamas, like I read at home, and then just try to remove those labels that in order to make people more comfortable and come out with the best ideas. This is in the university in Cochin in Sarawak, so which I had the privilege to be to give some workshop for the PhD students of biotechnology. And then even though from Europe to Asia, I found the common problems. And the common problems is that in science and in STEM and science, we have the tendency to be in silos, to not communicate, to be extremely competitive and not be that collaborative. In this assignment, the issue is that how can we make the PhD students to talk more about when their experiences from the conferences. So we did a communication plan for them, but we did it co-created together also in a picnic style. And of course, that's also given me the opportunity to go to other places to do talks about this and all around the world, except South America. So, and what it really surprised me is that there are always things that bring us together. And we as mothers, that is the women in tech, we have an amazing opportunity to connect. And this is one of my favorite pictures. So here we are, 4 women here, like from different ethnicity, different countries, different religions, different everything, but we had that something in common. And that commonality is that we want to build a better place for our kids. And we wanted to do it from love, where there are sustainable resources, where we have a sustainable planet, where we can build sustainable technologies, where the technology serves us and not we serving the technology. So, and one of the commonalities I found in those workshops that have been given around the world and startups is that we are afraid about something. And the reason that we don't open up our inner child is because we are afraid of rejections. We are afraid to fail. We are afraid to be our real self, because in this constructed world being by our society, have put us so many labels that is preventing us to be who we really are. Also, but they also found another very beautiful things. So one of the beautiful things that bring us in common together on all these different places that has been and traveled is that everyone wants to give support. Everyone wants to give support and receive support. And that is where we have a very important role, especially if you are a tech leader and you're a woman. Empower those who doesn't have voices. That is how you can create impact in your organizations. Support them. And if you are having a leader and you want the leaders to shine and you have a very good example of leadership, also show it to the world. Like, for example, I know that my manager probably is watching me. She is a true example of a servant leader, and I'm so happy that I'm here, and I know from there she's giving me support from behind the screen. So thank you, Mañana. So this support is very important, and also knowledge. In these areas that we have in science and technology, people want to learn more. People want to really express ideas simply that everyone can understand it, and separate and really remove that separation of science and art, and bring us a common language where we really can talk to each other, simplify problems, and really make experiences unique and using storytelling. And Yes. And all these ideas and all these images that come and taking is from all these different people with 75 different nationalities have been working on, and they have these common values. They want to teamwork. They want to create empathy. They want to share experience. And how this is connected to children's masses and how this is connected to parenting, because if you really see our children's playing, just they have a common goal. They want to have fun. They want to explore. So imagine yourself, and that's what I try to do with my teams, bringing them to that moment of experience where the world is just new. You don't know anything. You don't have any label. Creativity is just a label, and then they want to experiment, they want to try it, they want to share, and they want to have fun. And that is one of the values that you can get inspired by seeing children interacting, and then sometimes how the children share frustration, how they are very vocal sometimes, and then tell you, no, I don't want that. So instead of like us always trying to impose or knowledge to them, you just be open and understand with empathy what is that, and that empathy, just try to bring it into the world. And I know that in the complexity and the mess of this world is really, you can feel like a little frog or a little creature among a big mess, but we have the tools and the powers to make a difference. We have to think and have hope that the future is light, because one of the things that I have been seeing across the globe is that, yes, people want to make a difference for making this planet good, but it's not that easy. And the reason I think that it's not easy from everyone when I go like this is because we have some blockages inside of us that prevent us to shine with our inner light. And you have to really remove those labels inside of you that preventing you who you really are, like a little child moving away sofa and looking for their favorite toy full of dust, and then connect with that, look inside of you. And because at the end of the day, it's like you has the power to break that bubble that is preventing you to really express who you really are. Who can you bring on the table when discussing technology with your associates and with your team? So bring it up, but that starts with you. And remember, I always said, and I'm stealing this quote from my father, it's like, the meaning of life is continuous learning. If you feel superior, your arrogancy will make you stop learning from others and from yourself. If you feel inferior, your fears are going to make you stop learning. It is about finding the balance by cultivating a sense of wonder. So that sense of wonder, you have it. And if you have blockades, just see, because in the middle of any chaos, there's always a light. And I want to do a little mini workshop before you to give you some exercise before I move on. So I'm gonna give you like 1 minute. If you have a paper and pencil to write on, or you can just put your browser, your notebooks on anything, but write this. So I'm gonna give you some little exercise that you can practice with you and your teams in order to bring back those nice memories from your childhood, which I hope, and then I can later tell you how you can utilize that to connect to that sense of wonder when you were a little one. So I'm gonna give you 59 seconds. I'm not running the time right now, but you're gonna answer that question and for yourself. What was your favorite sweet or food when you were a child? What was your favorite game or book that made you happy when you were a child? What was the most beautiful words someone told you when you were a child? So I'm going to give you 1 minute. And the reason that it's really fast, because that thing has to come to mind. And if you don't have the answers to that because it's still blocked, it's also fine. So I'm going to give you later my contact so we can see on how I can help you. So then I'm going to give you 1 minute, 1 minute, 1, 3, go. write your exam. Top-minded. Go back to that moment in your life when you saw for the first time a dolphin, or you saw for the first time a beautiful butterfly, or you saw something amazing and you were like, amazed. Ten seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I hope you had it there. And what you're gonna do next? If you really want to share it, you can put it in your chat. So and we can read it. And if you don't want to share it, it's also fine. So you can keep that letter for yourself. You can put like a shoebox or a matchbox and keep it to yourself. And every time that you feel sad, overwhelmed by the complexity and chaos of this world, go back, open that little letter for you, and remember that sometimes the life can be also have this little light, that is not everything that difficult. That if you see life with curiosity, a lot of light and a lot of questions will pop up, but also a lot of answers will come up. And I want to close this by saying, a very beautiful quote from T.S. Eliot. Say, we shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. So go back to that moment when you were a little child and you were amazed by something beautiful. And that sense of seeing the world for the first time with that amazed feeling and curiosity, bring it back to your work and build something that matters and help humanity to make it better. Reconcile with that vision and have a life, and not to exist, but just to live it. And so I'm gonna give you a little gift. So connect to your inner explorer. So I have a public account. And then you can send a picture to my Instagram account, to my Happy Explorer, and hands touch my Happy Explorer. And if you have sent me a picture, I can help you to I can write a little story inspired of your little mess. And if you contact me, I was very happy, because this is just for networking. I will be happy to have a little coffee with you, and just for fun, and see how we can connect. And then and this is just it's just to help you to discover and your inner child. So thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. And yes, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat.
Thank you so much, Gabriella, for sharing your experiences in such an inspiring and creative way. It's just wow.
Yes.
I see that at the moment we don't have any questions. But I do encourage people to reach out to you just in case something pops up to their minds after this talk. And with that, I would like to hand it over to Gabby so she can announce our next speaker. Gabby?
Thank you.
Thanks, Gabriella.
Thank you.
You did amazing. Okay, so we're going to the next speaker of today. And I have the pleasure of announcing that we are collaborating with RobotWise. And they are very happy if you have brought your children. So do let us know in the chat if you are there with your kids. Have your kids type their names. We'd be very happy to read that during the session. Let me introduce Tamar and Laurie to you, the two lovely ladies that you see in your screen. Tamar is disrupting the Dutch educational system, and she wants to bridge the gap between the tech and the non-tech world. And she is a real woman in tech, and she really commits herself to socializing through technology. She's doing the session together with Laurie. She's a trainer and focuses on learning and development. She teaches students through the Robot Leadership Lab, super good initiative. And she contributes to developing learning programs for adults as well, such as self-leadership. So we have a duo of power women who are going to kick it off with you.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I think I have to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because there are so many people around all the world. I'm Tamar, the founder of RobotWise, and this is Laurie, my colleague. So thank you for the introduction. We also have some really RobotWise fans. Those are not my own children. I have a daughter and a son of 13 and 15 years old. But this is one fan of ours and two brothers with their family. So that's why they're sitting together. They are fans because we give lessons in their schools and they're coming to our holiday robot playground camps. Why robots? Why me? Because I don't have a background in education or a technical background. But 4 years ago, I was in the school of my children and I really saw the same books at 35 years ago. And I was like, how is that even possible? That my children are learning the same as 35 years ago? And I don't see anything of what we see outside with technology. Why don't I see that in the school, in the classroom? And that was something for me that I said, I think it's very important that we all embrace technology because technology is really the key role in the future. But if we don't know what technology is, we don't know how a robot works, or it's only about numbers and coding and not about socializing together with technology, then I don't know that I could like technology. So I thought 3 years ago, let's organize really cool lessons in the classroom with the children during vacations, but also in our offices, because the robot is actually a tool. It's an educational tool to be aware of your own skills, not your technical skills. Of course, you learn how to program by coding a robot. But I think it's very important, like Gaby said, our motto is socializing through technology. So how could we, as a human being, help technology to work? And I think it's very important to be aware of our soft skills, like problem-solving thinking, critical thinking, collaboration, communication. And I think we all already have those skills. Also children of 8, 12, 10 years old or 4 years old. And they aren't aware of that they need those skills in order how to learn to work with technology. So that was for me the reason to start with RobotWise, my own company, but we have now like 20 trainers. They train in schools, but also in the organization, because we use the robot as an educational tool in the classroom for soft skills. But in the companies, in the organizations, we connect those robots to, for example, self-leadership. And the adults are also playing underground by coding a robot. But it's all about visually programming. It's very, something new. You should just experience it. And that's why we are here. I stop talking. I want you all in 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes to code this humanoid robot, Zora. But I have my trainer here, Laurie. And Laurie is in the classroom, in the leadership labs. And I think she can explain you way better than I am. So Laurie, will you please come over here and I will share my screen.
Thank you.
You don't need to do anything yet. I'm just showing you on the screen how it looks like in the classroom. Because it's not only about the coding. We really integrate it in the curriculum. So we give you an assignment in a few minutes. But please watch first to the screen and see what the robot is doing or what it's not doing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work all the time, technology, right?
No, exactly. It's all about technology. So when we come and visit schools, we wrote a program which meets the Dutch educational curriculum, and we developed lessons to do with the robots, and we have a few different ones. This one is Dash. This is a floor robot, and children can program it in the app Blockly on an iPad, and they're building with Kapla or other tools certain routes for Dash to follow. And here we have Zora, and Zora is the one we're going to program today. Zora is a humanoid robot, and that actually means she's human-like, so she can do movements as we can, as humans. And maybe you know her, or maybe you've seen her bigger sibling Pepper, because Pepper is already working in like hospitals or something, or a hospitality field to welcome you when you come in. And today we have Zora here, and Tamara and I are going to show you how you can program her. Did you already share your screen?
I shared my screen, but you don't have to do anything yet at home and in here.
No, just watch and learn. I'm going to step back so I can see the screen Tamara is sharing with you.
What would be the challenge?
The challenge, when we come into the classroom, we ask children to program Zora and make an exercise routine. So like a gym class routine. And that's what we're going to show you. This interface, you can do it in your own language, English or Dutch, and it's a drag and drop system. So you have certain buttons, and Tamara is now pressing the start button. So there's a start there. And as you can see, there are boxes underneath the buttons, and you can give Zora different,
You want me to move her?
Yeah. This is a movement.
You have to program me. Tell me what to do.
Well, you can see the certain buttons. It's a drag and drop system, so you drag the button into
The timeline?
Yeah, the timeline, and you can just flip it out, and you can see what movements she can do. So you can give her certain tasks to do, and by constantly dragging and dropping different buttons, you create a routine, and she's going to tell us that. So we have movements with the arms, with the legs, with the head. We have music.
Music.
Yes,
yeah,
music there. Music. Yeah, and as you can see, there are pre-programmed musics in there, but don't use it. I'll tell you about that a bit later. Only use music if you have music on your laptop, and always use the stop music button after you used music. She can also talk. Yeah, there you can see. So you just write, you type the text, you write the text down you want her to say. So you see writing text.
Correct.
And she's going to do it in speech.
Shall we try?
Shall we try?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are not sure if she's going to work. Why do you think we always start in the classroom, and during our hybrid webinar today, sometimes technology doesn't work? It's also a skill if something doesn't work. Because if something doesn't work, you have to think again, how could it work? I'm now trying to connect Zora. Let's see if she's going to work what we just programmed. Here up in her face is a camera. Oh.
Reconnecting. Please wait.
Please wait. She's connecting. She's connected by the Wi-Fi. If you're going later on your computer to the online composer, you can actually program this robot. But we're now showing you how it looks like. We need a rumble music, right?
Yeah.
I think so. If you're going to program later on.
My internet address is 192.168.117.156.
Great, Zora. Okay. We have a QR code. So if you're going to program later on, it's really easy. I coded this, I think, in 3 minutes. And then you're showing the QR code to the robot. Oh, she really should read the QR code.
Maybe you should brighten it.
I will now check my internet connection. Playing the composition.
Oh, she wasn't asleep. I thought she was sleeping. Are you awake?
Hello, how are you doing? Let's do a workout together. 1.
You can headset after. Yeah. All together. Just code it in 3 minutes.
Let's do a little dance all together. Please stand up and swing.
Nossa, nossa, assim você me mata. Ai, se eu te pego, ai, se eu te pego, ai, delícia, delícia, assim você me mata. Ai, se eu te pego, ai, se eu te pego, hein? Um sábado na balada, a galera começou a dançar e passou a menina mais linda. Tomei coragem e comecei a falar. Como é que é, vai? Nossa, nossa, assim você me mata. Ai, se eu te pego, ai, se eu te pego. Delícia, delícia, assim você me mata. Ai, se eu te pego, ai, se eu te pego. Eba!
She's almost ready. It's all pre-coded. We didn't do anything. This only took 3 minutes to code, to program this robot. We're now going to share our screen again.
This was my workout. Now I challenge you all to code a workout yourself.
Yes, and that's your challenge for today. So Gabi is going to take over the screen to tell you how you should log in. You should register yourself to virtually make a composition, to virtually code Zora. So Gabi is going to help you with that, and we'll be back in a bit.
Okay, everyone. So the most important thing that you need to know in order to be able to start coding yourself is that you go to this link right here. I'll leave it in the screen for you to be able to take it. Savannah is also putting it in YouTube and LinkedIn for your convenience. So it's www.starttocompose.be/account/register/. So go to this link in order to be able to register, or find the link in the LinkedIn comments or the YouTube comments. Then once you have done that, this is the screen that you will see. You will be able to fill out all of these fields, and then you press on the submit button on the bottom of this field, like you see here. Then what happens is you go to your email inbox. You will have an email that you need to open in order to fulfill your registration. You click on the link that is included in that email, and then what happens is you have to go back to the page of the website of RobotWise, and you click login, and then you log in using your registered details. Once you have logged in, you will end up on this page. Please do not start pressing any buttons or coding yet. I know it will be hard. because they have to explain to you that you are not looking at the right robot. So right now you are looking at another robot than they have. So you're looking at Pepper's screen, not at Zora's screen. So for your convenience, I will go back to the link, browse to this link in order to be able to start coding. Follow all of those steps. So what I'll do is I'll go through it one more time. Go to this link. You can find it in the chat on YouTube or on LinkedIn. You fill in these fields and you submit. You go to your inbox. You click on the link that's in the email that you've received in your inbox. You log in with your details and you stay on this page. So go to this link. We will give you another minute. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put it in the chat and we will answer it. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing. And then I invite everybody to chat with us. Maybe, Kara, you can pull up the link from backstage again so we can see if there's any people with questions for the logging in process. And we'll be monitoring the YouTube and LinkedIn chats for questions. And I think it might be wise to switch back to Tamar so she can start guiding everybody on the coding.
Yeah, great. It's Laurie that is going to share with you because she's the expert trainer. I just told you I don't have a background of education or technique, but I'm the founder of RobotWise and I train so many trainers right now. So it's you're her audience right now. So please explain.
Yeah.
Feel the pressure, Laurie.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you again. Hopefully this will work out. Okay, share. I think you can see my screen. And what you need to do, because you're not in the Zora screen right now, you're in Pepper, you need to go here in the above right corner and press Zora. So you have the Zora screen. And if you did that, there's the flag. You can choose a language. I have the settings in English, but you can also choose Dutch, French, Chinese, or Italian. So choose whatever one you like. And then what you need to do, so I'm going to erase this one, clear. So now my timeline is erased. Always make sure you start with the start button because otherwise Zora won't wake up. And if you did that, you can choose either one of the buttons you see here and it's just drag and drop. But your challenge is to make a gym exercise routine. Just go and play with it, drag and drop, see what you can do. If you have a routine made up, press this, something will flip out under it, hopefully. Not yet. Anyways, oh, sorry, I need to tell you that you need to use Simple Composer. It's in here. You see me do this above here. I think you have it. So if you've made a composition, you can press play here and you see the virtual Zora and she's going to do whatever you asked her to do. And if you're done with your composition, you have to save it. Stop here. You have to save it as, just save it. And if you want, we can make QR codes and you can email it to us so we can see what you made. We don't have that much time left, so I'll leave you to it. Just go and play with it. And you can see what you've made by pressing the play button here and you see the virtual Zora. And, well, we hope you enjoy it. Sorry? Questions? Yeah, if you have any questions, just please type it so we can...
Could you please repeat showing how people can see the virtual Zora, please?
Yes, you can see the virtual Zora by pressing play. Do you see my mouse?
Yes, we did. Yep.
If you press play, you see the virtual Zora. And she does whatever you told her to do here in the timeline.
Can you show us one more time, please?
Yes.
It's sorry.
See. I'll stop it. Here, press play. And you see Zora.
I didn't.
Amazing.
And it's good to know if you're typing anything, so you're programming by telling Sora what to say, just by typing some words, what I just showed you before, you don't hear Sora speaking when you program her virtually. So if you see the avatar, you only see a message and it says what you programmed her, but you don't hear her. If you choose for dance, because you're cheating a bit, so you're not programming movements by yourself, but you're just going to the dance, to the movements, then you can hear the music, but she doesn't talk to you. So if your screen is too big, just put Control- and your screen gets a little bit smaller, and then you see the text, what you just programmed. Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
We'll see in the chat if it makes sense. So we're monitoring all the chats to see if there's any questions.
Great. We have here, I just already told you, we have some kids over here, real RobotWise fans. Here you have, can you please tell your name? Son. Son is already with our holiday camps for years, and he really loves coding Zora. So I will challenge him a bit more by coding something more. Maybe he will save a QR code after, and we can see what he just coded. There we have some other fans. How old are you, Son? Son? How old are you? 12. Son is 12 already, and he speaks very well English. Great, Son. What is your name? Thank you. Bram. There's Bram sitting over there. I'm very curious how old he is. It's the first time he's programming Zora. Wow, damn. Wow. He's 8 years old and it's the first time. Do you have fun? Vind je het leuk? Yeah? It's really fun coding together with your mom. Mom, did you already code before?
No. Right now.
Oh yeah. No, she said, no, I never code, but he did just in 1 minute. Okay, you're brothers, right? Je bent broers, hè? Ja, hoe heet jij? Timo. Timo, there's Timo. And Timo is, how old are you? 10. You speak very well English too. Timo, did you already code Zora before? Heb je nou wel eens geprogrammeerd? Ja? Maar gewoon naast het in Nederlands. Ah, okay. He was also a few times at our holiday camp, and he programmed Dash, that Laurie already explained, also with the blocks. It seems a bit familiar, like coding Zora, but by Zora you have a timeline next to each other with the blocks, and with Dash you have the coding blocks under each other. So it's all about puzzling, actually, and you have to think about what you want to like to puzzle. And Zora, you never code Zora, right? Okay, so today he's also going to program Zora for the first time. So you know, all those kids and parents, they're working together with each other, like you at home. So only he's the expert here. So we will ask him later to do a bit more advanced challenge then. How is it all working, Gaby? Do we have any more questions about the programming?
Yeah, we have one more question actually. So we have a question from someone on LinkedIn, and she is asking, is it possible to encode in another language, for example, Python?
It's a very nice question. What we have here is Zora, and Zora is not open source. So Zora is about, they develop their own software, and that's made Zora. But actually, it's the humanoid robot, the Now, and they have their own language. So the answer is no. This one, like we have over here, is only that language. And we have other robots that children can code with other languages. But for us, for RobotWise, it's really, really important to learn everybody coding visually. So it's really easy because it's more about the social and the emotional skills to train. And then afterwards, we can train them more in the technical skills. But also Son, he can code in many languages. But also for him, it stays really nice to program this robot, because in school, we challenge children, like, this is Zora, this is the way we can code. Please have a solution for healthcare. Can you please be really creative together in the classroom and think a solution, for example, youth care? And it's really amazing what those students or kids, they really programmed for this robot. So the answer is this is really only the software of Zora, but we use many, many different other robots, other educational tools. I will ask someone if already saved a QR code, so we maybe can show something. You already explained how you could send a QR code?
No, I'm going to share the screen again.
Yeah, Larry is going to tell you how you could share and save your program. So if you aren't finished right now, because it's really hard, programming in 10 minutes if it's the first time, and through a webinar, of course. So if you want to work longer with your child, or only, because also the bigger child, we are all a child, and they all love to work together with their kids. So what you could do, you could save as your program and then share it with a QR code. And then you can send it by an email to us, and we can just show it later on through our YouTube channel, RobotWise. But Laurie is going to show you right now how you could save it and make a QR code. Yeah? Okay. Have the email up.
So I pressed the Save As button, but I don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So I saved it.
Yes.
So now I can share it. This is my QR code. And I can
just send it to info.
Send it to info@robotwise.nl. And if you press the share button, you will email us this QR code, and we are going to show it to you on LinkedIn. You said, Tamar?
No, YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
Sorry, YouTube.
So if you share it with us, we are going to show you what you composed.
I will now check my internet connection. I'm downloading the composition.
This is the composition of Son. I'm not sure what he coded. Is it in Dutch or English?
English.
In English, wow, thank you. I just made a picture of a screen with a QR code and I put it in front of Zora. Ooh.
Hello, I'm Zora. Because of the coronavirus, most of us are not able to exercise. That's why I give you Exercising with Zora. First, we are going to do 5 push-ups.
He's already tired, I think, Son, or not? Oh, he's going to do the push-up. I think you should do the push-up too, or not?
1.
No? This only took, I think, 5 minutes,
2.
like you, to code this robot. You're a bit advanced, huh, Son?
Yeah, but I'm
3.
using the simple.
He's using the simple composer too, he tells me.
4. 5.
'What is he going to do now, Son?
Well, I was going to tell you.
Oh, he's going to tell me. He doesn't want to speak to me, Son. You heard? I asked Son, what is the robot going to do? He said, just watch. He's going to tell you what he's going to do. It's like a baby, right?
Okay, now 5 squats.
Oh, now 5 squats.
1.
Cool.
2.
I will check his screen, how long the code is. 1 second.
3.
Waar zit hij nu?
4.
Is 3? It takes 1.5 minutes more, I think.
Finally, some stretches. We are going to touch our toes with stretched legs and arms 3 times. I will put me in position.
So now is he touching the toes? I don't know if you all hear it by the mic. you can code really everything with Zora. I will explain a bit more about the COVID virus, why we are doing this also now in this session. I'm a mother of 2, and I saw a lot of children and a lot of parents having difficulties. It's really strange having this presentation with a robot lying down throughout this exercise. But I thought it was very important that we have a good environment at home while we're working remotely for school, but also for our work. So we thought we needed some more fun at home during some lockdowns in some countries. So what we did, we developed some online free challenges like this on robotwise.nl. So what we saw is that a lot of people at home were trying our challenges. And with all virtual robots.
This was exercising with Zora. Fine.
Right. So if you're not quit playing right now and you want to do some more challenges with your children or the brothers and sisters with the siblings together, go to our webpage, robotwise.nl, or just Google Robotwise and Zora challenge or something like that, or Robotwise robot challenges. You can find a lot of challenges that you can do together with your kids, with your friends. You can also do it in schools. In some countries, the schools are already open. So you can also do it in the school. And last week, I think it's really nice to close like that. Last week, we had a donation of KPMG, and they donated 40 robots to a school and a youth care. And they were really, really happy because they could follow the online challenges of Robotwise. And then afterwards, they can do the next step with a real physical robot. So it's really good, I think, for their talent development in social and emotional skills. So this is actually the wrap up of this webinar. I hope you had a great time. And if you're not finished coding by yourself, please send us later your QR code, and we can send you this really nice activity that you built by yourself. I also want to thank the attendees over here. We can play a lot longer, but I think we are in time now. Yeah. So thank you for your time. And I hope you had a really great evening, day, or morning. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Tamar, Lawi, and all of the kids who joined you there. I was really impressed with the exercises that were coded so quickly by one of the kids over there. So kudos to him.
Applause over here. Yeah. He's looking very happy.
He did a great job. And also thank you, Gabriella, for your amazing and inspirational talk and your story and being so vulnerable with us. I think we all need a little bit of soft skill and a little bit of hard skill when it comes to moving around the waters of technology. So I'll give the word to Stefana to give the final wrap up for this session.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Tamar. It was amazing to see this, and just it's such a nice way and easy way for kids to explore coding. I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. And Gabriella, thank you again. I will definitely save this paper and put it somewhere to pick it up maybe in a year or who knows. Thank you, Kara, for giving this great introduction to women in tech. And thank you everyone who joined. We love your support. We know it can be really warm here in some locations, but thank you for joining us. We hope to see you online, and let's connect. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.